along the a trail here at the Augusta Quarry. And just revisiting it from years ago when I first walked it as a homeless man. Check out the trails here in Fort Dickerson Park. Seeing if they've been upgraded or what have you. Doesn't look like any of these, or at least this one, has been worked on at all. From the days of yore. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that the neighbors have not been down here. Boys are really getting good with throwing down the stop sign into the properties they own here. Observing it just for themselves. Yeah, hopefully we can get around this. This is a good one. This is a good one. Yeah, certainly much bigger than the one I experienced above the quarry when I squatted up there. And just about as just about as foolproof as the river bluff cairn, right? On the river bluff that I experienced, I think in 23. I just recently posted on from Facebook these sort of blockades that the lovely neighbors love to throw down, and for God knows what reason, you know. In any case, thankfully, someone actually wants to walk the trail and seems to have provided a way around the blockade there to make it possible to continue. Even this old man, this natty daddy with a breaking an ankle. All right, for my scrapbook. Okay, there you go. Quite formidable. And then you got the the true meaning of the word cairn. Am I pronouncing that right? That direction for hikers throughout the country to show them the true path for those who might be visiting, as opposed to the neighbors and their children and their visitors that live here. It got me off topic in a way, but it's no, well, I don't know how to work this into it, but I've been thinking of urban legends, okay, around the country, and very popular on TV and such. You see them on, these urban legends in these cities and these towns that just, grow. I remember seeing chestnut men put on rocks in outside of Athens, Georgia. When I was traveling through there. And I thought it was cute. Kind of playing on the urban legends of chestnut men or whatever. Burning Man? I don't know. That's too mommy for me. But, yeah. But yeah, and in fact, in my new project, in my new shelter, off of Broadway, they have a car marked security in the parking lot, and they have a picture of Bigfoot on the car, which I thought was cute, and I'm sure the other neighbors who were, 18 or younger, would find that cute. But yeah, a lot of these urban legends, Bigfoot. Well, certainly, area, what is it, 51? Area 51's another one. Tends to grow out of, government conspiracies and, I always wondered how some of these urban legends get started, Certainly like, Area 51 or, it's like, oh yeah, and there's a place the government has, I heard that, where UFOs land, or, they're testing, aliens or something like that. A lot of these conspiracies seem government-based, I don't know. We are at the base of the Augusta Quarry. Just below the lookout that I showed you the other day. Oh, about a year and a half ago. There was a young man that went around the barriers at the lookout there and jumped into the quarry. Which may seem cool to a visitor, but it's certainly not cool to anyone who knows anything about the quarry. The water here at the base is very shallow. And sadly, the young man found that out a little too late. I found out about it in the newspaper. The local newspaper here reported the incident, and they gave his name and his buddy's name. In fact, I think they called it in. And I mean, it was just it's a tragedy. It should never have happened. About a month and a half ago, weeks before the quarry here reopened, another young man, supposedly, according to police and fire officials, jumped off the outlook and disappeared under the water. In any case, this man drowned. Thinking about it now, I don't know if he jumped off one of the new platforms and drowned or something, but I think I remember. I got to check the Knox News, the local newspaper article that appeared. Either jumped from the overlook or was on the platform prior to they have a lifeguard here now, prior to the park opening, to the quarry opening, and he jumped off the platform and disappeared beneath the water. Now, I thought, oh my God, this is tragic. You know, this is just tragic. And the police and firefighters and scuba divers and TBI, you know, Navy engineers, whatever, they were here for a good week searching the waters for this young man who supposedly disappeared under the water here at the Augusta Quarry. After a week, they did not find any body. Okay? And they called off the search. Now, what I have always found suspicious, and which, you know, kayakers, campers, and, you know, people from here on out, starting with me, perhaps, both of you on my YouTube channel, there was never a name reported in the local papers here about who died here, who went under the water. There were no, you know, news reports about family holding, memorial services for their young child that drowned here. There was no story about classmates, grieving his loss during a school year or remembering a friend. I don't know, perhaps as, like the old folks who used to work at the military bases in New Mexico. It might be a story they could tell their children or grandchildren. Or maybe it could be a visitor from out of town. Something to tell their classmates when they get back to the university. Oh yeah, there was a kid that drowned here, and his body was never found. It's Natty Daddy getting older here. With the essential workers at the Augusta Quarry.